It's time for another blistering report from the front lines of the cultural war for a constitutional America. And now, here's your host, Charles Benninghoff.
The Clinton crime family continues working to skewer Donald Trump, and the complicit fake news media is all too willing to help. But there's an angle to the recent fabricated hoax about Donald Trump and completely fictional Russian hookers that has been largely overlooked. We're going to look into it today. According to London's The Guardian newspaper, FBI Director James Comey, a man who is personally rich due to his professional ties to the Clinton Foundation, requested Patriot Act waivers from a secret court in order to spy on Donald Trump and his campaign team during the election season. This is unknown. It's not very well even thought of. In fact, I don't know anybody else talking about it. The court is named the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, and it stems and has its power from the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act of 1978. So it's referred to as a FISA Court, or FISA, FISA Court. It's clear to me that Comey sought a FISA warrant in the middle of the night, in the middle of the election, in hopes that the fake dirt in his fake dossier could be deployed to derail the Trump campaign and get his benefactor, Crooked Hillary, elected. While you're engaging in this video, I want you to please think about this. Comey had the fake dossier in August. Nothing came of it until it was leaked in January, at least to the public. That's how disgustingly fake Comey's dossier really is. That's incredible information. And do you think about what I'm going to tell you in terms of the passage of time? It's amazing that he would even do this. Well, now back to the facts. In about March of 2016, a former British spy and political hack named Christopher Steele, who's a citizen of the United Kingdom, was allegedly working for the Democrats. He began to compile a 35-page dossier on supposedly opposition research on Donald Trump. No one knows the source of this supposed information, but one thing that everyone, now including even the FBI, has agreed upon is that the information is fraudulent and fake, false, absolutely without merit. Comey's actions were treasonous, acts of a traitor to the Constitution and the American sense of justice and fair play, and he is to be condemned. He knew this fake dossier contained maliciously false allegations against Donald Trump, as well as the Russian people and others involved in that dossier. Yet he proceeded to treat these allegations as true and presented them to the FISA Court, seeking under the color of law the power to further disseminate the false dossier's allegations in order to investigate Trump undercover and destroy his presidency. There could be no other objective on Comey's mind. Because of this treason, I'm renewing the call for Comey's impeachment and indictment for criminal abuse of power. I'll let you know how you can join this battle and demand that Congress indict and impeach Comey and remove him from office and put his ass in jail. That's where it belongs. If you check the description of this video, you'll find a link to a previous video I did, which I examined the millions of dollars that James Comey was paid for brokering arms deals and other federal contracts between private companies, the Clinton Foundation, and the Clinton-run State Department. He got rich off the Clintons. That's another reason why I believe Comey should have been impeached last year. I urged it. I campaigned for it. But wait till you hear this. I think it's going to finally come. First, let's get this scurrilous and false dossier about Donald Trump out of the way. Political operatives who were paid by the Clintons and possibly by George Soros and his zealots produced a fake dossier about Donald Trump and then distributed the dossier to reporters and some frothing at the mouth rhino Republicans who hate President Trump. Among the false claims in this dossier was a story that Trump traveled to Russia and paid to watch multiple prostitutes urinate on a hotel bed that was once slept in by Barack and Michelle Obama. That's really bizarre. It takes a Democrat to think of that kind of stuff. Whether you call them urban legends or hoaxes, these types of fake stories about Republicans are distributed to the media in every presidential election. The unindicted war criminal Lyndon Johnson, president back in the 60s, actually started this tradition in the 1940s when he was in danger of losing a Senate election. Johnson told his campaign manager to start a rumor that his then opponent had sexual relations with a pig. Johnson's campaign manager said, "Well, Lyndon, we can't do that. You know it's not true." Ha ha. Johnson is reported to have said in reply, "Of course it ain't true, but I want to make the son of a bitch deny it." So when this story about Mr. Trump and Russian prostitutes started floating around newsrooms last year, it should have been obvious to everyone who read it that it was fake news. Just another dirty political stunt that originated with a crooked Hillary campaign. No one published a dossier before the election because they were unable to prove any of the allegations, and I allege they also knew the contents of the dossier to be patently false. But now that Donald Trump has won and those liberal hacks that pose as reporters are panicking, BuzzFeed published the fake news and CNN also built it up as if the fake dossier were actually true. This led to the following exchange in a press conference last week. Take a look.
Since you're attacking us, can you give us a question?
Go ahead.
No, Mr. President-elect.
Go ahead.
Mr. President-elect, since you are attacking our news organization, can you give us a chance?
Your organization
You are attacking our news organization.
Your organization.
Can you give us a chance to ask a question, sir?
Go ahead.
Sir, can you state, Mr. President-elect,
go ahead.
Can you state categorically,
she's asking a question. Don't
Mr.
be rude.
President-elect, can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
You're attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
Can you
No,
give
I'm not
us a
going to give you a
question?
question. I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
So that was last week. Now, bear with me as we jump back to 2016. No news operation was willing to publish these obviously fake allegations during the 2016 election season. And I think that's because most of the liberal journalists knew that the unsourced information was fake. Additionally, the fake dossier contained allegations so outlandish that the only use for them could possibly be a source material for a Woody Allen movie. It's not as if the information had been obtained off a home server in Donald Trump's bathroom, like certain presidential candidate for the Democrats had. But one person who did fall for this hoax, or at least he really, really wanted it to be true, was FBI Director James Comey. Someone slipped the fake Russian hooker dossier to Senator John McCain of Arizona. And according to The Guardian, McCain took the fake news to his good buddy, Comey. So what did Comey do with the information? Did he do like any reasonable person would and take one look at the information and say, "Nah, that's false, totally fake, couldn't be, ridiculous, it got to be a political hit piece"? Oh, no, he didn't. Comey took the information and used it as a allegedly factual basis to apply to the secret court under the Patriot Act for a warrant to surveil and spy on Donald Trump and his campaign. Can you believe that? He took this pile of garbage and tried to parlay it into a search warrant so he could get into the secret workings of the Trump campaign, and then I allege pass him off to his good buddy, Crooked Hillary. And I think that's why he came out the second time and said that he was looking again at Crooked Hillary's emails, because he knew his ass was caught. He knew that somebody had leaked that the FISA Court had denied, as I'll discuss in a minute, his application to dig up dirt on Trump. Now, reports indicate that the Comey-led FBI applied for 4 different warrants with the FISA Court. They didn't give up. They went back 4 times. This is the secret court that I mentioned before that law enforcement can go to for a warrant if they expect something like a Muslim immigrant being a member of Al-Qaeda or ISIS or some terrorist trying to plan or plot an attack on the United States. And in history, the FISA court almost never turns down warrant requests. If the feds want to spy on someone, they take truthful and factual information to this court, and it's practically a rubber stamp process. America has got to be protected. Between 1979 and 2013, the most recent year we have data from the FISA Court, federal law enforcement agencies requested more than 35,000 warrants to spy on suspected terrorists and other folks. In that 35-year period, only 12 warrant requests were denied. 35 years, 12 warrant requests denied. Comey comes in, he gets shut down 4 times in a row because of his fake news. Well, guess what? Even the rubber stamp FISA Court, when it looked at the information from Comey, the fake Russian hooker documents and other crap that was in there, they denied Comey a warrant to spy on Trump and his campaign team. Think about that for a second. Comey tried to get a warrant to spy on a presidential candidate based on fake information that was so obviously false that not even a CNN would run it before the election. That's how false it was. Clearly, Comey wanted to get a rubber stamp warrant so he could spy on Donald Trump in hopes of finding some actual dirt that was comparable to the criminal investigation that his boss, crooked Hillary Clinton, was going through. Fortunately for Mr. Trump and for America, Comey got squatted on and now deserves his punishment. But that doesn't change the fact that Comey tried to get away with obtaining a criminal warrant based on fake news in order to spy on a presidential candidate. Comey's actions were hyper-partisan. They were certainly unethical and most likely an illegal abuse of power. And that's why we're renewing the call to impeach and indict Comey. As the FBI director, Comey serves a 10-year term. We got to be careful. This means he could be in that position until 2023, unless he retires, which federal bureaucrats like Comey never seem to do. I say it's time for Comey to go now. The Clintons have escaped justice in 2 separate federal investigations that Comey's been involved in, and that's being looked at right now as well. Comey is rich because of his dealings with the Clinton Foundation, the Clintons, and the State Department. And he fraudulently tried to get a federal warrant from a secret terrorism court to spy on Donald Trump. Let's convict him. Let's hang him. Let's march him up the steps to the gallows and let him drop his 20 feet. I love that. I love that. Go to our action page on our website today and start firing personalized letters to Congress. We need to flood the offices of Congress with letters and phone calls. By the way, we also provide you the phone numbers to call. And we need to demand that James Comey be impeached and indicted and hung by the neck until he's dead. Do it today. Bob Mallory has instructions on the next screen explaining how to get our action page, so stay tuned. This is Charles Benninghoff signing off and wishing you freedom, fulfillment, and God's many blessings. And by the way, I don't care what process the federal government now has for dispatching traitors, whether it's firing squads or hanging or injections or I don't know, whatever they've got. Whatever is available needs to be used, and Comey needs to have himself made as an example that high officials of the federal government cannot do this sort of stuff to our politicians. I don't care whether the politician is a liberal, a socialist, a conservative, or a Republican. This stuff just can't be carried on and allowed to be passed. We've got to call them to attention, and we've got to call them to the point that they are serving a just sentence for their criminal acts.
Tell Congress to impeach the FBI director for his blatant and partisan abuse of power. If you're watching this on our action page on our website, use the form next to the video screen to select a program. If you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, click the icon appearing now to find the link to our action page, or check the video's description to find the link. Speak out today.